long line culture, this is the long lines. Long lines are practiced in Japan, mainly in Japan, because Japan, we know that it is highly prone to tsunamis, hurricanes, and strong wind and wave actions are there. So the structures like raft and rack will not work, because they can, by these storms and hurricanes and other strong wave action, will pull away these rack and raft or destroy the whole culture things. So we cannot practice that in these type of countries. So here the long lines about 60-meter long rope. Long lines means 60-meter long rope, which is about having a 20 to 24 millimeter thickness. And from that, these ropes having the mussels, as we have seen in the earlier techniques, we collect these pads on these ropes, and these ropes are hung from these long rope or long line at about 75 centimeter intervals. And these rope is having these rope will be moved on the two sides of the coast using 150 kg concrete blocks. So on these two sides of this land area, 150 kg concrete blocks will be fixed, and to these long lines will be attached, so that will not be taken long. And these ropes will be suspended from the ropes along with the mussels will be suspended from the long line. And this orange color, which is the buoys to help it suspended on the water. So it is the advantage of this long line technique is that it's more flexible. So the high wind and wave action doesn't have much effect on this long line compared to other techniques. So this is the long line culture. Then coming to the rack and bag culture. So this is the rack. This is actually the rack. So this is how a rack look like. So rack, we have to understand it is a fixed structure. So these racks will be fixed on the poles or poles which is been placed or been fixed onto the muddy bottom. So these culture techniques are mostly practiced where the depth of water is 5 meters or above, and so long poles will be driven into the mud, and on these poles these fixed rectangular structures like rack made up of a bamboo or eucalyptus or other wooden material, which is having 5 into 5 meter and size, and that is being fixed on these poles, which is driven into the mud. And from these racks, like the other techniques, these ropes having the mussels will be hung, and these ropes will be under the water, and the mussels will grow on these racks. And when they attain a marketable size of 18 kg, it can be harvested. So harvesting of the mussel is done when this condition index is high. In temperate countries, mussels harvest is all mechanized, while in India it is all the strings are being manually removed from these structures like boat or rack or long line and raft. They will be taken to the land area, and they will be the mussels will be removed from the rope, and they will be marketed. They will be cleaned and marketed. ഇത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അയച്ചു തന്നിരുന്ന യൂട്യൂബ് വീഡിയോസിൽ നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടതാണ് how these mussels are being dismantled from these ropes after it is been harvested. Then coming to depuration, as we know, this mussel is a filter feeding organism, though, so they will try or they will be accumulating lots of unwanted materials, and it also have a problem of what is called toxicity due to algal blooms. So these mussels will tend to accumulate all these toxins and heavy metals. So it is better to depurate before it is being marketed. So for depuration is pumping clear water, seawater into large tanks where these mussel will be placed for 1 week or more, and after that they will be marketed. And it can be also been sterilized using chlorine as and ozone, and they can be marketed, or it can be kept for 24 to 48 hours and be marketed. Coming to the farm management, for farm management, there is always a risk of involvement of other organisms like borers and other fouling organisms in this farm site. So these foulers like barnacles, tuberculous polychaetes, ascidians, coelentrates, and bryosovens tend to attach to these drops as well as on the rack and wooden structures, and or even on the top of these mussels. So Balanus amphitrite, which is a barnacle, which is very commonly seen on the mussel, which is a fouler, and so they can be manually removed. Periodical removal of these fouling organism is being done, and there are other predators like crabs, lobsters, and some fishes also are threat to the mussel culture farms. So this is all about this mussel culture and how it is being practiced in various countries and even in India. And